Don't go buy a single family, or don't buy a single family. Whatever I said. Buy multifamily. That's right. Buy multifamily. So today, I got a question from my buddy the other day about rentals and Airbnb. He's trying to buy a house, him and his wife, and he was interested in like house hacking and Airbnb and kind of the pros and cons associated with either, and if he should do anything like that at all. The house he's looking at, he said would be a little tight for them to purchase, and they could probably do it, but like to have some subsidized income would really benefit them in their lifestyle to buy this house that they really liked. Which, hey, I think that's a really great way to look at a house purchase. If you can make some income on the side to make your dream house come true, I think that's a really great way to go about it. Now, the premise of his question was really, what's it like to have roommates? What's it like to have Airbnb guests? Those sorts of things. Now, I'm going to start off with saying I've never had an Airbnb where I've lived in the house and guests have come and gone. So I don't know what that's like, and I told him that. But I've managed half a dozen Airbnbs and owned half a dozen Airbnbs over the past couple years. And I gotta say, Airbnb seems like the more profitable option of the two. He certainly could go with a traditional rental if he was looking to just have some basic income with very little work. But if you live there, half the work of an Airbnb is done on a regular basis, like cleaning. You're cleaning your house on a regular basis. If you're a very tidy person, all your common spaces are probably pretty clean on a daily. So you're doing most of that work anyway. So you probably are benefiting from that if you're running an Airbnb. You also probably, it depends. The market is so, every market is so different. If you're in San Francisco, your Airbnb market is insane. But if you're in Pullman, Washington, where my buddy lives, it might not be. Most of you probably don't know where Pullman is. It's where the Washington State University is. But it's a little tiny farm town with maybe 20,000 people. So you can imagine it's not hopping. But I think he could still make quite a bit of money, and at least as much money as he would renting. So what does that mean for him? Well, as an Airbnb, he's not going to have guests all the time. So him and his wife will have some time when there's no one in the house. So that's a plus. That's plus number one. Plus number two, like I mentioned, you're cleaning the house already. Even if you had a tenant, you're cleaning the house, but at least you're getting paid to clean the house-ish from your cleaning fee. Now, for a single room, you're probably not setting a cleaning fee that's astronomically high. But, you're probably getting, $20 or $30 to clean that room, and just kind of keep paying you to clean your house, which is pretty cool. That's a pretty cool way to go about it. The reason I've never done the live in the house sort of thing, first of all, my fiance not down for that. She would not appreciate someone else being in our house. She barely would let me buy a duplex to live in one side and have somebody live next to us. She was pretty apprehensive about that. Even though she lived in a condo, that's a whole nother topic. But she lived in a condo with people on either side of her. It's the same thing. And her condo was little. She had no room to escape them if they were being loud or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of the downside to Airbnb is they're there with you. I mean, that's the downside to renting a room out, I guess, as well. But I'm assuming that if he rents his room out, he's doing it to a friend that he somewhat enjoys spending time with. But I talked to him a lot about the financial aspects of it, and it sounds like he's already picked out the house, which is totally fine. But honestly, this is his first house. This is his wife's first house. They don't have any other properties. I really, really recommend, if you go buy your first property, buy a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. Period. Just buy one, live in it for a year, and go buy something else. You'll be able to, because you bought a triplex or a duplex or a fourplex or whatever, and you've had rental income. You'll be able to do that. But if you buy a single family home, to go to the next single family home, if you don't make a lot of income, it can be really tough. It can be pretty hard to have a bank loan you for another home while you still own another home that you haven't yet collected rent on. So that's kind of the catch-22 of a single family home, is you really, really gotta make choices. And now this is what he's trying to do, right? He's trying to make income on that single family home while he lives there, which I think is a really great strategy, and house hacking is been proven to be a very successful means to an end. But skip the house hacking and just go get a house that's been hacked. That's kind of my philosophy. It's a little faster. It might cost a little bit more. I mean, you're paying more for a duplex certainly than you would for a single family. But you get that duplex, you live there for a year, and now you're making income. And it's pretty straightforward. Where your house hack, you have to invest all this money into it, assuming that you're trying to make it into a duplex or split it up like that. And then you're hoping that somebody rents it for what you think you need to rent it for so that you can make money, but you have no proof to the bank, so they're going to count that as debt. But that's kind of the gist of our conversation. I don't know exactly what he's going to do, but I would recommend to him that he do Airbnb if he's not trying to purchase a property right away. The downside to Airbnb is banks are not yet on board with any sort of consistency with Airbnb. And if I have a year out booked and I can prove that I have $10,000 worth of income over the next 3 months, they don't give a shit. I could have 0 or 100,000. Like, they don't care how much I have booked already. Like that, those are in contract. I have, strict cancellation policies, so these people aren't going to be running away with all their money, just up and leave. But, they don't, it's not in a contract, right? It's not something that's guaranteed, so they don't treat it like that. And I guess I get that, but it makes it tough. You have to have quite a long history of Airbnb to show income from Airbnb. Show that you know what what you're doing, that you can make money, those sorts of things. So that's kind of the gist of Airbnb versus rental and purchasing your first home. Like I say, I think the best advice that I can give, and my biggest regret, my number one regret, is not buying a multifamily home for my first home.